Welcome to the St. John Genealogy Project webcast. Today we will be exploring some lesser-known aspects of the St. John family, uncovering their fascinating stories and ancestral connections. Hello everyone, how are you today? So this is really weird because I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I see that there are at least 10 of you here. Hi Larry. Hi Jeff. Hi Ingrid. So today we're going to try to learn how to use the website. I put a poll up, or a question and answer, if you have any specific things with the website that you have trouble with, to let me know, and I will go over them. Can everybody hear me okay? I mean, my speaker says it's working, but maybe it's not. Feel free to use the live chat. Awesome. Good. Awesome. Okay, so, does anybody have any issues using chat? Hopefully not. I see at least 3 of you using it. Okay, so I'm going to move off of this screen and I'm going to open the website. Let's wait for that to change. Okay. Can everybody see the website? Excuse me. You should be able to see my mouse. Can you follow my mouse on the screen? Okay, awesome. So, if you want me to slow down, just yell at me and tell me to slow down. So this is the website from my view. I have admin view. I'm logged in so I can see my page here. So I added 2 things to the front of the website. Here you can sign up for our Wednesday newsletter. And here you can start attending our live webcasts. So that will hopefully bring in more. I'm surprised we have 9 today. I was expecting 0 or at least maybe 1 or 2. So thank you all for coming. So I'm going to go over the homepage first. We have our main menu up here at the top in the black. I'm going to try to slow down. Then we also have these buttons over here on the far right. You can go to Ralph St. John's profile page, Adam DePort's profile page. If you want to submit your lineage, you can click this link. And it will give you this form to fill out. Oh, that's my dog if you hear him barking, because he hears me talking. If you fill out this form and submit it to me at the bottom, I will get the information and then I can add your branch to the website. And then if you want to become an editor, you can help fill out your branch and attach all the records and things to it. We'll go back to the home page. There's also the shop that I set up over the summer. If you want to go there and purchase anything, everything that is purchased there goes to supporting this project and helping pay for DNA tests, helping upgrade tests to Big Y. Because the Big Y test is $449 per person, and that's insane. But anyway, that's what it's there for, to help fund this project so people aren't strapped trying to pay for their DNA tests. And let's see. So the first thing I want to show you is one record that I have pretty much closed. And that is the record on Christopher St. John. And this is kind of the goal record that we want to get to for every single record in this database. And I can't do that by myself. I need help. So I'm trying to encourage people to become editors and start updating data here so that we can get as many of these profiles closed as possible. So when it's closed, I put a code in here. I'll show you. I put the code in the title field right here. Can you see that? And then that tells it that it's closed. But, I mean, if you have editing powers, you can still update it. Let's go back. Okay. So this is Christopher St. John's record. He died in 1616. This is not Matthias's father, but it would be his great-grandfather. So what I've done is I have completed these fields, and I put all this information in here, and then I put my sources. So when I log out, you don't see all this information that I have in here. So you can see that I have sources, but they don't really take you anywhere because when you scroll down here, the sources are requiring you to log in. So then you can log in, and now I can click on the sources and it will take me down there to the sources. So does that make sense? So what we have here for Christopher is quite a few records. These I acquired in archives in Wales and England and on Ancestry. And I don't think any on Find My Past for him. So each record has, each source, sorry. Each source is completed. I have the title of the source, the publisher, the call number, who it's linked to, and then let's go to one that has an image. I just picked the one without an image. Okay. Can you all hear my dog barking? He's not used to me talking by myself, so he's like, "What are you doing up there?" Okay, so this source has a record attached to it. So it's also got a lot of people it's attached to. So when the record has the source attached, or the image attached, you can confirm it for yourself. You don't have to trust me. You can look at this and say, oh, is he really listed there? So you can go down here, you can click on it, and you get a really big version of it. So this is a manuscript that I got in Cardiff. And you scroll down here, and here is Christopher. It's really hard to read. But this is where he is listed in this manuscript. There's his son, Sir William. There's his son, Thomas. And then Thomas, it goes down here to empty circles. So whoever made this manuscript didn't fill it out, and this is really unfortunate. So we have this empty circle here. This would have belonged to Christopher, Matthias's father, as the firstborn. But we have other records that will get us there. So that record right there proves that Christopher is a descendant of Alexander St. John of Highlight. Does that make sense to everybody? Am I going too fast? I feel like I'm scrolling really fast. I'm really sorry. I don't want to give you visual whiplash. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Christopher's record. And show you that I have... So that record supports this heraldic authority's visitation. So they came in 1532, and they did, they wanted to know who the family was that lived here. And so that one is the first record that proves that this lineage descended from Alexander. And there's number 10. And this record, Mark Nelson wrote the College of Arms, and then he gave me their response. So he wrote the College of Arms, and they confirmed Christopher's lineage for us and his heraldry. And, let's see. So when you look at these records, you can verify for yourself. So here's Christopher's name mentioned, that he was the son of William, and then his, who was the son of Oliver. So there's 3 generations right there. So my goal is that you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually check this stuff out yourself and confirm that I'm not crazy. And so then I have another record. This one was published by Michael Siddons. It's the same visitation. And then you open it up, and it has the same information. It's just published in a different format. And let me get to the crux of it. Somewhere. I think here it is. So he has the same thing. This leads Oliver, who had a son named William. And then William was the father of Christopher. Any questions about records so far? I can show you how to create them, edit them, whatever. Oops, I went the wrong direction. Oh no. Okay. Then we have the will of William St. John. And that will discuss it. I have transcribed it. And here's Christopher's name. And that he was the son of William. And then you can open it up. And you can see the full record. Well, somewhere. Where'd it go? There it is. And you can slide this with your mouse. You can go up and down. You can zoom. And then you can go up and down. So all these records are here for you to view as a user of the website. And you have the ability to confirm my research. And let's say that you find something that you don't agree with. You can go up here. Oh, I'm not going to be able to see it logged in. Let me log out. So here's a suggest button. If you have an issue with this profile, you click this suggest button. And you verify that you're not a robot. And then you can fill out this form. And let's say that you have reason to believe that I have messed up somewhere. You can write me a note and say, hey, I think you messed up. And I will take a look at it and I will let you know. And we'll try to work it out. But hopefully that will stop a lot of drama that I have seen elsewhere. We're getting a lot of pushback saying that I'm making stuff up. As you can see, I have not made stuff up. I did not create these records. I got them from archives all across the world. And when you log in, you can see them. So let's see what else. So I have, let's see, how many records for Christopher? 24 records. I don't agree with all these records. I put in notes, like there's some errors in here, like I think it's this one. Because the historians or the people that put these records together merged the two families of Fawnmon and Highlight. So there are some statements in them where they make those claims. They'll add Bolingbroke, and these are authors and editors that are doing this. It's not the original records usually. And so those things I tried to let you guys know about. So far so good. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through how to edit this profile. I'm just going to make up something and then well, I guess I could use a real something. Does anybody have a record they want me to update? Like, no, Suzanne, don't put us on the spot. Okay. Let's see. So if you want to edit and you have edit permissions, you just press the edit button. If you do not have editing permission, you'll have a suggest button here. So we go into edit, and it opens up TNG's editing profile. Well, if you're an editor, you won't see all of this. I have admin permissions, so I have all of these functions. But as an editor, you only have stuff that allows you to edit people, media, and sources. So it's a pretty cut and dry page. These are notes, and these are sources. And you can even put notes and sources at the top of the page. These cover the whole profile rather than just like this covers the name. And these cover the birth. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to make up something. Okay, let me first show you this. This is one of my favorite features. It's called the associations. So anytime I have more than one person in this database, and let's say that they have something between them happening, like if they were together and they signed a document, or they were together and they were in the Virginia company together, or they were in Colonial Connecticut at the same time, you can put an association or a DNA match. I also use this for DNA matches. So you can put new, and you can search for the person that you want to associate them with. So let's say Suzanne St. John. And we'll pick me. And now I can put in here, they are related. And then if I want this note or this association to appear on both profiles, I check that box and hit save. And now on my profile and this profile, it'll have this association. So if I save and exit, and then I scroll down to associations, somewhere down here. So here's the associations drop down, and there it is, Suzanne St. John. And you can click on that, and it'll take you to my profile. I think that's pretty cool. So I've been using that for DNA testing with ancestry data. So I'll enter a test match into this website, and then I will associate the tester, the St. John, to that match, and I will put their shared CM and their relationship data. So I need to delete this really quick. Delete. X is delete. Do I really want to delete? Yes. Finish, and then I can save and stay, and it will update that. If I want to put a source that's a general source that doesn't really apply to a specific date, let's say their name is just mentioned, you can create a source, and it will automatically give you a source ID. You can put the title of the source here, the author, whatever. You can put a URL in there. You can take a pre-formatted source that somebody else created, and you can enter that, and then you press save, and it will attach that to the profile. You can also put notes in here. So like if I have additional sources that someone else has listed, I'll put them in here until I can request them myself and get my own digital copies of them. So this helps me keep track of them, and then when I get one, I just delete it out of my little list. So that's just one way that I keep track of other sources that I still have to get copies of. And so if I want to fix a typo, I can change the information. I can hit save and stay, and it will refresh the page for me if I have dates I want to fix or add. And then this other feature is called Other Events, and you can add anything because we control this database. So I started doing like GPS, genealogical proof standards, so we can fill in information how this record achieves the GPS standards. You can put alternate birth, and if I want to, let me go into this. I'm gonna switch screens really quick because I can show you that I can create any of these custom events myself. So here we go. I've been creating lineage lines. That one is my current little project that I'm working on. So I'm going to reset that. Let's say I wanted to track something unique to a record. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay. Let's do individuals, and we're going to say that they are Virginia Company. Members of the Virginia Company, and then there were two of them. There was London and Plymouth. So then I can save that, and what we'll do is we'll go to Christopher Son's record, save and exit that. Oops. And we'll go to William's record. And we can add an event. I'm on Sir William St. John Knight's record if I'm going too fast, sorry. And then we put Virginia. Where did it go? Did it not create it? Did I get an error? Nope, it was created. Let's see what the code is. Let's see. Did I miss it? Apparently they're not in alphabetical order. Oh, I probably need to refresh. Sorry, this is a go as you learn as you go, figure it out as you go. Okay, let's try this again. Edit. And well, now I'm curious because where did it go? See, it never fails. You try to show people something and it doesn't work. It does work. It's here somewhere. I'm just not sure where it filed it. The heck? Sorry. So sorry. Don't see it. Save and exit. Let's go back to admin. Events. Sorry. Okay, let's try it this way. Let's make the tag was too. Let's try this. Okay, that's still there. Whoa. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna do a hard refresh and see if it'll get it that way. Okay. Edit. Add new. Wait. Well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. This has never not worked. Ever. Do you guys see it? Okay, I'm gonna move on because I don't know why it's not working. Okay, let's just pretend that one of these said Virginia Company, because it does work, I promise. Okay, so then you can put in here that William signed the 1609 Virginia Charter. And then in 1620, he was on King James's council. Council for Jamestown. And then you would save it, and it would create a record. And this would actually say Virginia Company. So then when you save it and look at their profile, it would show up in this column over here. So I have fact, but it would say something different instead of just a fact. It would say Virginia Company. So that was what I was trying to show you. And I'm sorry, I don't know why it's not working. Let me create a new one. Wait a second. Oh, I think I figured it out. No? Let's just try that. I think 0 might have made it mess up. Nope, I don't understand. Okay, I'll have to look into this because that's just bizarre. I am going to delete that fact though. But the one I just made, yes. I'm going to delete that and save and exit. So when you have editing permissions, you can do all this fun stuff to these records. Let's see what else was on my agenda. Basic menu and basic features. Okay. and then people. Okay. So the basic features that we have, is everybody having fun yet? We have the individual profile that you can see that I've been scrolling through. And then we can look at this person's... Okay, let me back up. On this individual tab, this is a secondary menu down here. And as an editor, I can add media. I can look at the pedigree that shows up on their profile. I can look at the media that shows up on their profile. So these are all media folders. I don't know why that one's not displaying thumbnail, but anyway. We have 2 photos there. There's Sir William's signature. If you want to see it. Pretty cool. Some other documents that I have for William. Then you can look at all the sources that I have for William. I don't have his profile closed yet, so as you'll see, they're not all attached to their matching images, but a lot of them are there. So that's the goal that I'm trying to get to, is to close this profile next. If I want to look at a PDF about William, I can create this chart. Oh, I think I messed that up. Never mind. Sorry, I've been editing the code on that so that I can do something else with it. So that's not going to work right now. You can look at his parents. Or you can add parents. We don't want to add parents to William. We already have his parents. So this is all editing stuff. If you click on the Ancestors tab, it has its own submenu, and you can look at this data in different ways. So here's the main family tree. You can hover over it, and you'll get information that's about the profile. You can look at it in different views. If you click on these little arrows, it will show you the different views. Click on compact and it will make it a small tree so you can look at it more quickly if you want. And again, if you hover, oh, that doesn't show it. Okay, if you go back to this one, you can hover and get information. And then we can look at it as a box. And you can look at the information text. You can print this report. I'm not saying that word. I don't know how to say that word. So if you guys know how to pronounce it, you can tell me. So this gives you basically a list of the generations like any other report. And you can, read through it. And it will take you to the information about the descendants. You can look at this information in a fan chart. So let's look at that. So we have... Apparently we're on Robert Matthews' record now. I don't know how we jumped to that, but I must have clicked it. And then you can look at the media for the 2 sides. I don't have any media really for them. Let me go back to William's record. Let's go back over here. Ancestors. So here's William's fan chart. Shows William in the center. His father is Christopher. His mother is Elizabeth Baudrip. Then we have his grandfather is William, and his great-grandfather is Oliver. And you can even change this to display up to 8 generations. And then it really shows you how much research I have not completed. Look at all those empty spots. Isn't that sad? Oops. And they're very touchy, so be careful when you touch them. Because if you click on them, you're going to go all over the place. So you can scroll, make this move, center it. Sorry. So what do you think? Isn't that crazy? Look at all those empty boxes. Just when you think you're doing good work, you find empty boxes. Let's see what else. We have a no, we're not going to do the PDF because I broke the PDF. Okay, parental lines. This shows you the paternal and maternal lines of William. So if you just want to look how much information is in here, the maternal line kind of ends. But we have the St. John's going all the way back. Which I think is pretty cool to look at sometimes, just to see how much data is in here. And you can look at William's descendants. And you can also calculate relationships. So if I want to, my number is I-110. I want to see how many relationships, let's say that I'm going to go, go all the way to let's do 1 because I don't want to spend here all day. Okay, maximum generations to check. We're only going to do 18. And then you can calculate. So this is going to tell me my relationship to Sir William St. John. Press calculate. So anyone, you can compare any 2 people in the tree. And you can select up to, I think, 25 relationships. And a lot of times you're going to find that you can fill those 25. So this says that he is my 9th great-grandfather. Woohoo! And then it shows that whole, my lineage up to William. So you might be wondering what these little pictures are. So these that are red, this is telling you that we have DNA evidence about this particular line. And if it's red, it is Sir William's branch. And if it's pink, or if it's red and it's Sir William's branch, it's a Y-DNA test. We have Y-DNA to confirm this lineage. And then if it's pink, we have autosomal DNA to confirm this lineage. And then if it's blue, it would be his brother Thomas's line. And it would be dark blue for Y-DNA and light blue for autosomal DNA. And then you'll see that his father is, everybody above him is purple. So William makes it half of the red that makes purple. And then if we look at Thomas's, hang on. If we look at Thomas's record, his are blue. Is it going to open it? Today is the day. Murphy's Law. Okay, so Thomas's is blue. And then you look and his father's is purple. So that's just a really quick way that if you can look at, see where we're at with DNA testing. So if I just pick somebody in here, let's do like, let's see. If we do Captain Samuel St. John, you'll see that his is red and his ancestors are red. But we can also see it through his descendants. And you can see that he has descendants that are both red and blue. And then these are pink because that was an autosomal DNA test. So this is a really quick way to check to see how much progress we've made with DNA. And there's another red. So I'm trying to put visual cues in there. So if you log in and you're looking at your line and there's no colored person there, then we don't have a DNA test result for your line. And let's see, did I go over everything? Oh, if you want to submit a photo or a document, you click on that. And you want to go to the profile of the person that you're submitting the record for. Because when I get the email notification, it's going to bring me back to this record. So you can attach a file by choosing the file, and then you can put any kind of credit or source or where you got it in a description, and you can even get a copy sent to yourself. And that way you can submit records if you don't want or don't feel comfortable editing and you're not interested in editing but you want to submit records. You can use this form right here. And we can look at, this is Cloudflare, Flare, say it 3 times, maybe I'll get it. That's preventing a lot of spam and slowing down the website, so it should be a lot faster these days. What was I doing? Oh, this is a family chart. If you want to edit this family, you have to come to the family chart and then you can press edit and it will let you edit the family of this couple. You can put in their marriage details, sources, notes, and then add children. And you can even have events for the marriage. So like you can add, there was an alternate marriage record that says something different if you want to record conflicting evidence. You can put any of these details separated rather than divorced or whatever. And then you would save and exit, and then this would be updated. If you want to submit a document for this family, then you would use that form. And this would be the group sheet that lists all the people. If you wanted to print this for your records, you would have this group sheet, and it would give you the parents and all their children. Does anybody have any questions? Really quick, take a break for this for a second. Any questions? So there's 12 viewers right now. We've had 30 views so far, so that's pretty crazy. I didn't think anybody'd show up, so thank you for showing up. Let's see. What was the next thing on the agenda? Menus, basic features, we did that. People, families, and this. Oh, that's search. Okay. So let's go back to home. Let's say that you're looking for somebody in here, and there's things that you should know when you're searching. I normalize names. I don't care how it was spelled in 1600. The surname is St. John. It is entered into the site, every record, ST period, space, JOHN, unless it would be like deport St. John. If the Y-DNA would be deport, then it would say deport St. John. But if you search for St. John, they'll come up in the results. But if you only search deport, then you're only going to get results for deport St. John. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, so the other thing that I've done is I try to normalize places. So, but there might be places entered multiple times. It's not consistent because I haven't cleaned up all of the place names that were imported. But everyone should be in here as St. John. So the way that we can cover the phonetic spellings, if I go back to, let's do Matthias St. John. OSA, there it is. One of the ways that we can search, I have entered all of Orlean's book in here, and I used her person ID numbers. So OSA stands for Orlean St. John Alexander, and then 001 is appending the 1, which would be Matthias St. John. So this will bring me to Matthias St. John's record. And we know that he didn't go by Matthias St. John. He went by Matthias Ascension. So we can add an event. This is the other events, the same thing that wasn't working a minute ago. But we can go in here and we can put in for name. And then if I put in here Matthias Ascension and save it, then when I do a search, it will come up. These are people that had, so there's Matthias St. John, even though he's recorded in here mainly under Matthias St. John, because I put that name in there, it shows up right here, Matthias Ascension. So even though, so I have normalized the names. You should only search by St. John for most cases. But if you do happen to search by Ascension and I have entered that name variable, then it'll come up. So other ways you can search, there's advanced search. You can reset this by pressing the reset button. So you can search for people. There's all kinds of extra fields if you want to narrow down your search. You can also search families. And you can search families from this up here too. So this is where you would search, like, if you want to see how many St. John and what's another family they married? Let's try Keeler. This will give you all the St. Johns that married a Keeler, which is pretty crazy. And that will only give you the males with the female Keeler. So if you wanted to know all of them, so we have 5 there, you would switch these. And you can find 6 more. So that we have 11 families that are St. John Keeler. Isn't that crazy? A lot of inbreeding. Woohoo! Let's see what else. You wanted to search the whole site. So let's just say that you wanted to search, I don't know what would be a word that come up. Norwalk. It will give you a Google page result that shows you everything in the database that has that. And so there's gobs of pages. So we have 8 Google result pages full of the word Norwalk. So then you can go back, or you can just close that. That's search. Oh, if you want to, you can do a broad search or a narrow. So if I type in St. John, I think, what's this going to do? It's going to give you an exact result, but let's say that I do Suze St. John. Oh, I meant to uncheck that broad search. So there's quite a few Suzes in here, but let me, trying to remember what this broad search does. Oh, it limits it. So it only finds that when you don't use the broad search, you're going to have limited results. So Suze without the check mark gives us 2 names that are specifically SUZ. And then if we search with the broad, it's going to give us other variants. So we have Suzette. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know what it's making the selection based on, but that's what you're getting. Oh, because St. John was in a different field. So this one didn't come up because this St. John was actually in the suffix field. So it didn't come up because I only searched on surname and first name. But because St. John was in another field, it found it. So that's the difference between a broad search and a narrow search. Let's see, what was the next thing? Does anybody have any questions about searching? Okay, submenus are, oh yes, I've already covered submenus and normalized names. Look at me go. Okay, suggest tab and edit tab. We already did that. Curating data and close profiles. And we started with that, so apparently I went in reverse order. That's cool. What I was going to show you on Christopher's record, which is why I had it open, was that the reason I closed it was because I had put in some GPS, genealogical proof standard statements. So they have 5 requirements for what they consider a closed argument or proof of a conclusion. So the first thing that they require is that you do a reasonably exhaustive search. So I put this in here. So what I can tell you is that when I search, I have searched on Christopher for, 17 years now? And I probably run a search every single day. I actually have Google searches set up to give me an email if a new record shows up that is searching Google for me. I have all kinds of different spellings set up and all kinds of things like that. So basically, I am addressing these standards, and I have said that a broad and exhaustive research has been carried out on Christopher, drawing on heraldic visitations, chancery cases, I cannot talk today, surveys, wills, and inquisition post-mortem to reconstruct his place in the Highlight family. And then the next one is that you have to have all statements of fact must be supported by complete and accurate sources. So as you saw, the sources are down here, and you can look at them, and they are completely filled out. There's attached images. So we're meeting that requirement. The third one is the evidence collected must be analyzed and correlated. So I have done that. So I have showed you how the heraldic visitation matches the will of his father. And then we have the inquisition that named him and his son Christopher. And then there's other legal proceedings. So I put all these records in here. I've written all these summaries. And now I'm closing the file by saying that I have made those analysis. And then the resolution of any conflicting evidence. Well, for this Christopher, there isn't any conflicting evidence. It all aligns perfectly, which was fantastic because that rarely happens. And then I have the conclusion is that he was the Esquire of Highlight, and he was the heir in the male line from his third great-grandfather, Sir John St. John of Penmark, and his second wife, Lucy Bassett. And this lineage has been confirmed all the way back to this John and Lucy, and I will show you that in a second. So when you look at this, we now know that this record can be closed because we have all of this evidence. We have met the requirements for the genealogical proof standard, and I have done that for each of these records going back to Alexander. I'm not finished researching John's, so I haven't closed his account yet, or his profile. But I have found all the evidence I think I'm going to find for these people, and I just went ahead and closed them. And now I'm working on, if I haven't finished them, yeah, I have their GPS statements written as well. And so now, the only thing we have to do is, as descendants, fill out these same types of profiles for everybody underneath them. So I have the starting records done. If we can get to where we can prove our individual lineages back to Christopher, then we're doing really good, and we have a lot of stuff completed. So that's why I'm looking for editors to help with these. And does anybody have any questions before I think we finish up? Any questions? Did I lose you all? Okay, well, I'm going to close this unless you have any questions. And if you do, you can email me anytime. And we will see you next Saturday if you want to come back. Thank you.